Hi, I'm Tuesday's Rebel. As you can see, Lucienne is not here with me this week. I'm taking this week since she took last week, and I am talking today about inflammatory online articles.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
You know, originally today I had another vlog planned, but then this article that I'm about to put up fell into my lap when I opened up Facebook yesterday, and I just couldn't ignore it. You should go read that article right now, and then come on back. Don't worry, I'll wait. All right, did you go read it? Good. Now we can discuss all the incredibly inflammatory and just awesomely awful things that this particular blogger posted. I still am reeling. The worst for me as a YA writer was this quote. Does that statement basically smack of elitism or what? You know, it's not uncommon for people who write adult literature to sort of simplify the idea of what children's literature is, to think that a young adult novel inherently is more simplistic, less complex, less well-written than something that's written for adults because it's written for children, which is wrong on so many levels. It's insulting to the author, it's insulting to the reader, and it's insulting basically to literature in general, because it's supposing that only certain genres or certain age groups have the corner market on what's acceptable and what's quality literature. You know what I find really crazy is that she's bold enough to admit that she's never read the Harry Potter books, and yet she makes this huge sweeping statement about how they're not quality work based on what? On reviews she's read? Since she has no personal opinion on this whatsoever, I find that to be really lazy as a writer. If you're going to make this kind of argument, then you really should do your research and read the books. And it's that plea that really upsets me as well, because she basically asks J.K. Rowling to stop writing because she's monopolizing the market and making it hard for other books to come up and be noticed and to get the acclaim that they deserve. And she says that she's got enough fame and money and seen enough success at this point that she needs to just stop writing. How completely awful and off the mark this is. What writer writes purely for acclaim and money? None that I know of, because honestly, if you're writing just for the money, then you are in the wrong profession, because most writers don't make enough to pay their bills. So you can't be in it for the money, because you know up front that your likelihood of making the kind of money that J.K. Rowling makes is practically nil. So to suppose that that's what J.K. Rowling set out to do when she wrote Harry Potter in those cafes when she was on public assistance is just ludicrous. She had no idea that that book was going to take off the way that it did. She wrote for the love of it. She wrote because it was a passion that she had. And that just belittles the passion that all writers have. We write because we have to. We write because we are creative people. We need to express ourselves creatively. So she's basically asking J.K. Rowling to stifle her own creativity, her own passion, because she needs room for her own books to thrive. That seems very selfish to me. And it also makes me wonder what her motives are for writing. Does she not write for passion? Or is she trying to write for acclaim and money? And I think what I dislike also is this whole, like, it's not fair mentality. Nothing is ever fair. It doesn't matter what profession that you pick. If I'm an athlete and I'm, you know, a runner, I may not run as fast as the person who wins the marathon, the Olympian who gets the gold medal. Maybe I'm just a good runner, but not a great runner, and no matter how hard I try, that's where I'll end up. Or maybe I'm a great runner, and I'm an Olympic runner just like the other person, but I miss that gold medal by 1/10 of a second. It happens. Is that person supposed to tell the person who won that race to stop running because now they got their gold medal, they need to quit so that they get the chance the next time? I don't see how that's fair. And conversely, you know, she has seen a measure of success herself. She's written several books that have been published. Should she now step down because her book hasn't seen the stratospheric success that J.K. Rowling has, so that she can make room for those who are underneath her, who are just trying to get publishing contracts? You could really take this argument all the way down the row. And I don't think she's thought of it that way. I think she's just looking at it as, it's no fair. Her book hasn't seen the acclaim that she wanted it to see, as well as maybe some of her friends. And she thinks that by, leveling the playing field, that's going to make a difference. But you can never level the playing field. Writing and, books are subjective. When a reader gets it, it is subjective whether or not that they have the passion for it to spread the word about it and get others to read it. You can't make them pick your book over a different one just because you take the big heavy hitters out of the equation. So I don't know that she's going to get what she wants, which is this fair playing field. No one gets that in life. So either you get okay with that or you stop writing yourself. I just wanted to sort of voice my own opinion about what I thought about this article, but I'd also really like to hear your opinion in the comments. So if you would leave me a comment and tell me what you thought about the article, I would love to read it. All right, thanks guys. And next week, Lucienne and I will both be back together to do the next vlog. See ya.